This is your daily dose of all things royal. Oh, wow. Brace yourselves for some earth-shattering news. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. Meghan Markle has suddenly bolted from the Invictus games to be with, you guessed it, the invisible kids. Ah, yes, because nothing says devoted mother like a perfectly timed PR exit. Who actually is buying this narrative? I know I'm not. Let's be real. This woman was probably given a gentle nudge to just tone it down a little bit with the personal photo shoots and the spectacles that she's been making while she's with Harry at these games. Maybe she was even encouraged to, I don't know, sit one of the events out without making it about Meghan and the Meghan show. I don't personally believe that Meghan got kicked out because remember, Invictus has been footing the bill for this royal circus every single year. So I doubt they outright told her to pack her bags. And if they did, you best believe Harry would have been dragging his duffel right behind her because you know that he would have gotten an earful if, let's say, they told her to leave and he didn't stick up for her. Here's what I believe the more likely scenario is. Meghan got sick of playing backup dancer to Harry and the actual athletes, you know, the whole point of the event. And let's not forget, the cameras don't catch everything, so who's to say she didn't get a reality check from someone who wasn't interested in worshiping her? She was probably over it the second she realized the spotlight wasn't glued to her. Remember the garden party incident? Yeah, this whole thing reeks of her choice, just like everything else she does. Meghan plays by one rule. If she's not the star, she's not staying. The vibe that I got here was that Meghan finally hit her limit on playing the kind and compassionate act with veterans and pretending she enjoys being around children. You know how exhausting it is when you have to be something that you're not? This was written all over her face. I wouldn't be surprised if things got tense between her and Harry. I mean, let's face it, Meghan knows exactly how to push Harry's buttons when things don't go her way. Maybe she left out of pure spite, hoping that without her, Harry would stumble his way through the rest of the event. It's like the classic, if I'm not running the show, then the whole thing should crash and burn. That's the energy that Meghan gives off. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past her to sabotage whatever credibility he has left with Invictus just to make this point. But don't worry, Meghan will definitely be back rearing her ugly head somewhere, probably with some over-the-top attention-stealing PR stunt just in time for the closing ceremony. Can't let Harry have too much of the spotlight, right? We all know how Meghan operates. If she did leave on bad terms with Harry, don't be shocked if suddenly Harry ends up leaving early too. The silver lining? At least now, the actual athletes can finally get the attention they deserve. Let's just hope Harry can keep it together long enough to see this thing through without the Meghan show.
You stay warm. Huh?
You are real.
Real? So are you.
I think we all can agree that we need a break from this woman. And while this is all great news that Meghan is leaving Invictus, don't think that she's not going to continue to keep putting herself in the media for the rest of the week. This is just what Meghan does. So, unfortunately, while she's leaving these athletes alone, she's going to continue to keep bothering the rest of the world with her other BS. So count on that to keep on happening. But at least for the rest of the day, we can all take a breather knowing that we're not going to see the horse of a different color keep changing her outfits and flooding social media. So I think that's a positive and a win for all of us. Meghan absolutely hates participating in anything where she's a supporting role. In this case, this is Harry's charity. She doesn't care about veterans. She's just riding on his coattails to get some PR exposure, which epically failed this week, I might add. In an attempt to rebrand her image, I think it's only made it worse. So, perhaps maybe her PR people had said, okay, we've got enough of what we need to go back and now rebrand and craft you into this kind and loving mom, mom. Let me tell you what Meghan really wants to be doing. She wants to be a lady who lunches with famous people in Beverly Hills. She wants to be shopping on Rodeo Drive, and she wants to be front row center at fashion shows and maybe even walk the runway. Meghan wants to be invited to all the hot parties and events just so she can be the socialite that she's always dreamed of being. That's what Meghan wants to do in her life. That's Meghan in a nutshell. Going back to 2013 Fashion Week here in New York, this is what was on Meghan Markle's mind.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to be here. It's my second show on my first Fashion Week ever, so yes. Hervé Leger yesterday.
So being a fashion version for Fashion Week, what is it like?
It's pretty exciting. I was talking yesterday to probably the best person you can speak with about this, Petra Nemkova, who is well-versed at this entire thing. She gave me a couple good tips on how to get through it. But I think more than anything, it's just really fun.
And this is what Meghan loves to do. She loves to name drop. Petra Nemkova is a supermodel. And here Meghan is talking about as if she is one of the models walking in one of these shows. All Meghan is doing at Fashion Week is sitting there and watching these shows. Do you see how superficial this woman is? What kind of tips did Petra Nemkova give to Meghan so she could get through sitting and watching a show at Fashion Week? Help me understand that, Meghan. Is it just me, or does Meghan's jaw look manly in this photo? Anyway, listen to how superficial this conversation is. Nowhere does she talk about charity and bringing compassion and kindness to the world.
What did she tell you?
She has such great energy. So for her, she's like, just take it with a grain of salt, bring a good sense of humor about it, and a good friend in tow, and and just enjoy it. I mean, it feels a bit like Cinderella, so I'm having a good time. It feels a bit like Cinderella, so I'm having a good time.
They just love.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for, obviously yesterday was my first show, but just the prints, obviously the structure of things, it's great belted stuff. Tracy has a lot of that on her things as well.
This is actually really comical. Here Meghan's first time at Fashion Week and talking as if she's some type of fashion expert and understanding how the structure of Tracy Reese's clothing is. She's so full of shit, but she just goes with it. Fake it till you make it, I guess.
And just to sort of get inspiration for things I can wear both on my show and in real life.
Tell us about the show. How's it going?
Yeah, we are in the middle of season 3 of Suits. There are 2 more episodes to air this summer, and then the back 6 will air in January, and it's pretty fun. Obviously it's very fashionable and a sexy show, so it's been good.
Anything you can spill to us? What can we...
The sad part about Meghan is that every interview, all Meghan could talk about is Suits. Really, that's all Meghan has is Suits. She's glad to talk about Suits, but there really wasn't much substance of anything else. She's not going to talk about being a duchess, because what did she really do there? Nothing.
I will say in this next season, lots of big changes for my character Rachel that will hugely affect both her and me. So you will see what happens.
You will see what happens.
We can't wait.
Yeah.
So you're not working. What are you doing for fun?
Oh man, I'm working all the time, but I love to travel. And I also, I'm a huge foodie, so checking out the best new restaurants is always high on my list. So happy to be in New York for that reason as well.
So what are some of your favorite recipes? And how about some healthy ones?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do a lot of green juices and try to eat pretty clean during the week. But one of my easiest go-tos is this great, like chia pino. I like cooking with seafood, so a great black cod seafood soup as well. A little saffron, little black currants. Simpler than it sounds, and it's always impressive.
I'll bet you money that this woman doesn't know how to cook that. This was just a canned response to sound sophisticated and elevated. You know what we call these people when we see them in New York? Posers. Meghan was 100% a poser. Not only do they like to name drop, but they also want to be seen. So they'll be seen at the hot spots, whether it be somewhere in New York. You'll notice Meghan does that too. In this short interview, she drops the name of a very famous restaurant here that's hard to get into on Sunday for brunch.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
And how do you stay fit?
I do a lot of yoga. I do hot yoga specifically, and I love running. So between those two things, I think it's just a balance of doing that so you can eat your French fries at Balthazar when you want,
This made me cringe. That's not how you pronounce it, dummy. If you were really in the know, it's said this way.
Here you have another view of the famous Balthazar's restaurant.
Balthazar, Meghan. Get it right next time. Someone send this clip to Proper Wise Guy. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of it.
You want fries at Balthazar when you want, and you just figure out how to make it work for you. But those are the things that feel good for me.
And your skin is flawless.
Thank you.
How do you take care of it?
This is what Meghan wants all day long. She wants people to tell her that she's fabulous, that her skin's flawless, that she's the most beautiful of all. And you could actually see the bitch in Meghan. Oh, thank you.
I use a lot of different products, but primarily I use Kate Somerville. I've been using it for years out of LA, and then I love the whole line of Clarins products. And I think also with skincare,
So much of it is just drinking a lot of water, more than you ever want.
I don't think water can help this. For a brief moment, Meghan's eyes go completely black. Truly demonic.
Is there a beauty secret that people might be surprised? Like, do you stick cucumbers on your eyes or something like that?
Like, what's going on here with Meghan? It's almost as if she's having a malfunction.
I don't do anything like that, although I do, is there anything quirky that I do? Probably not. I think part of the detox really is the sweat, right? So that's why I like the hot yoga. You will get that instant glow. It's not the most glamorous look after the fact, but an hour later, I think you always look better than you did if you just didn't work out.
It's so bizarre. Meghan hates to be caught off guard. You can see her mask slip right here, almost as if, how dare you throw a question out at me that I was not prepared for? You can see how, irritated she is. You can also tell that Meghan wants this interview to be over with because the person interviewing her is not famous enough. And you can see her eyes shifting over, looking out for something better to talk to.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a nice big hiatus between November to March, so I look forward to doing a film. This is my time to really sort of do something fun, so I'm reading scripts and meeting with directors and figuring out what the best project will be.
Fake it till you make it. She could never get past number 6 on the call sheet. This, I believe, is who Meghan truly is. I get this mean girl vibe from her, very stuck up, very bitchy, and only wants to know you if you can do something for her. Otherwise, she wants nothing to do with you. And clearly here, this interviewer wasn't famous enough, and you can see her eyes wandering. This girl lacks any kind of depth, any kind of substance, and we're seeing it play out on the global stage here. So am I surprised that Meghan has left Invictus? I think it was of her own doing because this is Meghan. When she gets bored, she wants to move on to something else. But I would love to know what you think. I mean, obviously, it would be funny if we do find out that Meghan was kicked out, but I don't think the Canadians would do that. They're too polite and too nice. They will tolerate Meghan and put up with her for the week. I do believe that it was Meghan's own doing for deciding to leave so abruptly. Now, there's other stuff that has been brewing, like the Sussex Squad sugar that went after Tom Bauer, seen here.
Sure, really? Yeah? That's why you came to see? Or is it because you know Harry and Meghan were going to be here today? Yeah. Yeah, we've read the things you've wrote about them, especially Meghan. We've seen your book, we've heard about your book. So it's very interesting that you're at Invictus because we know why you're here. So why don't you tell the truth about why you're here? You came all the way from the UK and the UK press to Invictus in Canada just because you want to see it? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah. But yeah, we know.
This is actually something that is making some news. Could this be another reason why Meghan is leaving? With the Sussex Squad terrorist group coming into focus, could that also be triggering for Meghan to skip town now that Trump wants to look at possibly putting tariffs on the UK over this online safety bill? And the connection to the CCDH, who had been working with the Biden administration alongside with the UK government to put a framework in place for censoring the internet. Now, I'd like to thank Daily Empress, who put out a short video bringing to my attention that one of the disinformation dozen who had been relentlessly attacked and deplatformed by the CCDH had done a piece on his Substack pertaining to Harry and Meghan's connection to the CCDH and this censorship complex. Thank you, Daily Empress, for highlighting that, because I did not see it until you put this video out. So I am making everybody else aware of it. This gentleman wrote a beautiful piece that does summarize clearly what is going on and the role that Harry and Meghan have been playing here. Even though it is more extensive, covering the piece around the Parents Network is one part of it. So please go check it out. Definitely, if you're on X, follow him, follow Daily Empress. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and check out Daily Empress as well. And I will leave you here with this. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Raise your hand if you think Harry and Meghan are going to be in trouble.
I was such a fraud.